We got two new heroes and a new villain in this Spider-Man run. The new villain name is Connive. It's a robot that can make other robots. And before all that, it kidnapped Peter and like a whole bunch of other people and put them in their best fantasy to make them happy and shit, right? He with Gwen and have kids and shit. But after they whooped their ass and finding out that that shit wasn't real, we meet back up with everybody that got kidnapped as they are in therapy. One of the girls in therapy, her right here, was telling us that she was up here living a fantasy about this girl that didn't even know that she was real, right? She felt invisible to most people. Well, while trying to get some damn coffee and this dude hollering at her and letting us know that she's gay, right? The girl that she had a fantasy about walks in. So she tries to go speak to her, but the girl don't even know who she is. And they stay on the same floor in the same dorm and shit. So she started to freak out because she was invisible to her, right? And then her ass said, "Pop!" She turns into some fucking air. She started to freak out more. She pops and she turns into some water. Then she falls on the floor. So the next issue, you see Spider-Man and fucking Miles Morales trying to go help her as they don't know what the fuck they gonna do when they get there. Earlier, when she fell into the water and shit, when the coffee had mixed up with her body and shit, she ended up turning back to normal. Well, back to her water form and shit. So they started to like guess what she was. They was thinking she was an Inhuman and shit like that. So she really started to tweak the fuck out. As you can see, she could turn into fire, earth, air, water, and back to her human form again. So this is where the therapist was like, look, we need more help than what the fuck we can give her. That's when Spider-Man and them came along and shit. They had to go act like they was coming in to help. And her ass was sitting up there changing into her other fucking her forms and shit. She can't control it. So they was like, all right, we got somebody that can probably help you. While all this going on, right, it's a side story about Electro. He goes into this bar and he meets up with the other Electro, Francine Fry, the girl version. And he mad at her because she keep using her fucking his name. He wanted her to stop. We'll come back to that shit later. They take her to Viv to see if she a robot like them things that Connive was making and shit. She's not. So they call up Miss Marvel, which Miles was having a hard time with because that was one of his fucking fantasies, even though he with a girl right now, to try to see if she was a mutant. The girl that was tripping out and shit, she started to feel bad and she wanted to stay there for it, but they was like, hey, I think the best thing for you to do is just leave for now while all this shit going on. So later, they end up meeting up with each other, decided to be friends and shit. Then Spider-Man brings out Hydro Man to help her work with her water form. So he helping her and shit, but she ended up crashing into him and shit because she had lost control for a little second when she found out that the damn girl she liked is actually with, she got a girlfriend. So she fell into a dude and then they minds kind of mixed and shit. She seen that he was doing some bad shit and his ass ended up getting her emotions as you see him up here crying and shit, Hydro Man. So later, they called the Fantastic Four. Well, they only got Ben and fucking Human Torch because Sue and Reed, they was busy. These motherfuckers was finna fight. And while they was finna fight, Max and fucking Francine was finna fight. But they both got their fights broke up and shit. So Human Torch was finna give her some what they call it, an unstable molecule suit for her so that when she changed, her suit won't blow the fuck up and shit. But she said, no, when she transformed, her clothes transformed with her. They was like, well, that shit sound like magic. They was like, duh. But before he left, he wanted to see her fucking in her fire form and he flew with her for a second. Issue 10, right? So both the Spider-Man is getting their ass whooped by fucking both the Electros. They having a contest to see who, if they kill any Spider-Man first, they get to keep the name Electro. Back on that Wednesday, they end up going to this coffee shop early because they had a coffee date. Peters was with this girl that used to treat his ass back in school and shit, and he ended up being friends with her even though he's in a relationship. And Miles' shit was with Kamala, as he let her know that he is in a relationship still, and she wasn't really feeling that shit. As you see, wasn't no bubbles and shit right here. So after they damn dates leave, they was asking each other how the fuck dating is easier and shit. And Peter was like, look, let me know when you find out. That's when you see this dude come here talking about some, hey, I want you to meet my boyfriend and my girlfriend. They looked at each other like, hey, don't give me no advice on this shit. He's like, I wasn't. So back to the fight. Both the Spider-Man trying to use some insulated web against them, because that's usually what they do to whoop Electro ass, is by using some insulated webbing. They said they figured out ways to get around that shit, and so did Spider-Man and them, as they ran up and just started hitting his ass. So they both said switch, as they got the shocking the fuck out of both of them. So while they shocking them and shit, right, somebody came behind them and hit their ass with water. Then, We go back and see she been up here training with this girl, meditating, and now she can control her form. She can go into any form she wants to at any time. She don't want to be a hero right now, but she just want to learn some control of her power so that nobody won't get hurt, like the girl she likes. So you see the water and shit, right? Then she reforms herself and bring her body there. So they was finna hit her ass, right, with some fucking damn electricity. We gonna fucking make it hot enough to evaporate your ass. She turns to her fire form and hit they ass with some fire. Then we go to Den. We find out she ended up becoming friends with old girl, even though that she's got a whole girlfriend. That's when we see the new girl from the Gods book that recently came out to try to help her with the magic shit to see if she got magic because Dr. Strange sent her. Electro and them started to get on Spider-Man and them again, so she turned into her damn earth form to stop the electricity. The new girl fucking do her magic and shit on her, and she tell us like, look, I'm still new at this shit, but I got you. She lets us know that she has an affinity with magic. She was born with it, specifically to the 4 ancient alchemical fucking elements, which you can access with little regard to mass or volume. Very cool. She said she could have went without that shit her whole life not noticing, but because she went through and got kidnapped by the damn machine and it made her live her damn fantasies and shit and it was fucked up and traumatic, it woke her damn abilities up. That's when this guard dude came and pointed in the background. You see electricity and shit fighting. And you know Electro and them was fighting. So that's when Spider-Man and them left to go to fight Electro. When they pulled up on them, these motherfuckers was fighting each other, but they couldn't hurt each other. So that's when they decided, when Spider-Man and them to pull up to have that contest. Then they started to fight their ass. So now we all caught up. After she put that rock shit down, the villains left and shit. So they wanted to know, like, all right, you want to be a hero or not? She's like, nah, I still don't want to be a hero, but if I do be a hero, this is my name. My name will be Elementary, which I don't like the name. The shit's trash. Electro and them went to go meet up with Connor, though, for him to help them out, the Lizard Man. And now we had our most recent issue 11. Spider-Man and them was in the middle of these damn, it looked like woods, right? As they was fighting a damn butterfly lady on a damn snail. We also go back then and we see Connor leaving his son in these motherfucking sewers with Schiff, right? Miles Morales' brother. Oh yeah, if you didn't notice, this is the new other second character hero that we got. Her name is Spider-Sprite, or they call her Cobweb too. Anyway, he wanted them to stay down here because until they find a cure. Craven out here hunting motherfuckers and shit, and he didn't want to stay down there, so he leaves. Spider-Man and them had got split up from the rest of the crew, so she led them to where they was at. They was captured and shit, and they had to go to their queen and king, their prince. And the reason why they got in this situation is because earlier they went to the damn park and they was practicing with her powers. And even further back before that, these two was walking in the damn streets arguing about the name and shit, and she was telling them like, look, you never should have killed me. But then you end up finding out that she liked his ass, and they was just about to kiss, and that's when you see the damn sun right here. Then they ass came up with a plan. So they got another girl to go help them out, right? She's got control of her wind and shit. She was up here fucking helping her with the wind and shit, trying to help her feel the wind out and shit. Then that's when you see these little fairy things see her heart. So while she up here trying to practice and manipulate the air, the sprite things is watching these motherfuckers. They don't like that she turned into water, earth, and fire. So they decided to make her small and made them have judgment in front of the queen and prince. So that's when they got small and shit, and they came through and captured them. So we get to now, right? And they get to telling her, the prince and queen, of what the fuck that happened and shit. And two of the people that seen her heart stood up for her and was like, look, she ain't the first person to do this shit. They still mad about that shit. They was like, look, I promise you, they some good people. So she searches her heart and see that she a good person, plus them. But then she was able to see that Spider-Man and them was in the cut. So Spider-Sprite stands up for them basically, and she see that they are good too. They basically gave her a warning and to stop fucking practicing magic in they damn park. Spider-Man officially gives Spider-Sprite her name after all that shit, and she takes off happy as hell. Then the queen makes her big, and she tells her while she's big, like, you have a fine heart, girl, for a human, but we have seen that it has been broken. Darkness can pour in through it, so beware. She's like, hold on, wait, what? Then this shit ended off with Max and them basically having his son in hostages. They want him to work with him still, saying you'll get your reptile back soon as we confirm your solutions all work. And now we gotta wait on the next issue. And that's everything that's going on in this run.